Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the first town hall for infrastructure finance for Africa, and so this is just a test run. We're trying to get the message out there. The idea is this is exactly what we have been doing, but we just want to put it on a broader network. So I know I've been talking to most of you here, and most of you know what I've been up to. So I've been working closely here with Mr. Asif Vankwala, who is Vankawala, who is a chartered accountant, and so what we want to do today is basically we're going to talk about three types of financing: the project, the infrastructure for Africa, which Mr. Asif is going to handle. Then the next session we're going to talk about gas and the next. So if you have any questions, so he's going to go through it. Then maybe 10, 20 minutes. Then if there's any questions, then we ask, and that's the first session. So Mr. Asif, not to waste any of our time and your time, welcome to our little network. So let me introduce the kind of people here. We're not, it's not all of us, just if people are still coming on board, people are driving, it's afternoon, mostly afternoon in Africa. So I have some people from the Nigerian, I have some people from the Investment Promotional Council, so which is in charge of investment promotion in Africa. They are listening. Then I have a couple of promoters and business network guys here. So thank you for your time today. Can everyone hear me? If you can't hear me, please. If you can hear, please let me know. Okay. Just raise your hand, make a sign. Okay. All right, guys. Mr. Asif, it's your floor now. Thank you.
Okay. Ted, you want me to make an introduction?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, my name is Asif Vankwala, as you can read from the screen. I've been in Toronto. I'm originally from India, educated in England, came to Toronto, Canada, about 40 years ago. Got educated as a chartered accountant, got into public accounting practice. At the same time, got into my own real estate and infrastructure development business together with my other partners. And that's the journey I have gone through for 40 years. About 1996, first time I went to India together with our Prime Minister and Team Canada. And the goal given to me was how do we connect Canadian economy with Indian economy? So that was my first venture out of Canada. And subsequently, I traveled many times to India and basically, look into quite a few industries, connected quite a few Canadian industries with Indian industries. And another change came about 6-7 years ago when Canadian pension funds and insurance companies wanted to invest in India in infrastructure. So I put my head into infrastructure in India, and subsequently, Canadians have been very successful investing in India. And then obviously I got relationships with Indian EPC contractors who basically develop the projects. And they also are very busy in Africa, physically building the projects. So they asked me if I can put my head into Africa, and I said, sure. So I guess what I'm learning is that if we have ready to build or bankable projects, there is lots of capital available from this Western world. for any pre-development stage projects. There are some impact investors available, but they will invest only if the developer has a track record of developing other projects and skin in the game. Basically, developer has to have some of his own money at the risk. So these are the main two very basic criteria. What I am looking at mostly is a power, transportation, and water infrastructure. But there are other investors who look into social infrastructure, schools, hospitals, etc., etc. So there is a different kind of there are different kind of capital available from different kind of investors for Africa, for infrastructure projects in Africa. So that's where I am. I mean, that's where we are. So if you have any projects, if you have any need, or if you have any questions, please let me know. Derek?
Okay. So let me summarize. Let me explain further. So Mr. Steve here has some institutional investors for Africa, but mostly on the infrastructure side. So if you have any project, if you have any investment you're looking to look at, and you have questions, but I think Mr. Steve, I think we should share the terms. Can we share it? So can we share your recent?
Can you hear me, Derek?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you very well. I mean, can we share the infrastructure terms? You know those terms you have.
I'm sorry. Are you talking about the parameters?
Exactly, parameters. Yes.
I don't know how to show it on the screen. Obviously, you are the screen master. So if you have that infrastructure, the parameters, the last one I sent to you, which was this month, beginning of this month, maybe you can play it on the screen. Or I guess you may want to hear from the people or see what kind of projects they have, what kind of financing they're looking for, and just basically guide them accordingly. I think that would be a much better approach.
Okay. So Matope Ikamba says, there we can't hear you. Your sound is poor. Okay, let me change my sound. Let me change my sound. Let me change my sound. 1 second, guys. Let me change my sound.
Derek, I see quite a few people are saying that they can't hear you clearly. No, you have taken your mic off, so. Sope, can you hear me? Can you unmute your mic, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Well, to answer your question, I can see on your chat which line. Basically, my focus, personal focus, has been on a power, transportation, and water. In a power, we're talking about renewable energy or gas-fired power plants or transmission lines. We cannot do, this Western world cannot do coal-fired power plants and cannot do nuclear at the moment. When it comes to transportation, we're talking about roads, airports, seaports, and railways. And in water, we're talking about a wastewater clearance systems and sewage systems. Basically, these are the things I normally focus on. Now, there are other people who are looking at hospitals, looking at other social infrastructure, student housing, affordable housing. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay, yeah. So do you also assist financing waste to energy or solar thermal equipment manufacturing?
Yes, I can try to do that, provided in a waste to energy. As you can appreciate, there's a lot of operation involved. It's not just simple, you buy a solar power plant and go. So what will be very important in waste to energy is having the right operator with a track record of operating waste to energy projects. That's what I see problems very often.
Okay.
So if somebody has a right technology, right technology provider, right operating experience, and if the project becomes bankable, then the equity on waste to energy is available, very much so. Because it's in a renewable energy, the whole world is talking about now reducing the carbon. So there is lots of capital available for waste to energy. India is developing quite a few waste to energy projects. Why I mention India is because India is one of the emerging countries. So and they're taking the leadership. So I haven't seen much of waste to energy projects in Africa yet. I'm sorry, your voice has a lot of echo. I couldn't hear you. Anyway, that is a volume issue. Now, it's okay. You are asking, which countries are eligible. I mean, I don't see any countries which are not eligible at the moment in Africa. I haven't seen any. But again, each country, like it all depends on if projects can be insured or not. The insurance can be from MIGA, the World Bank subsidiary, or it could be private. There are quite a few private insurance can be bought in Africa. But I think most of the countries are pretty safe. But if you ask me, which countries are taking leadership, Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Uganda, South Africa, these are the countries taking a lot of advantage. There was a problem in Mozambique. Very few countries, let me put it this way. Now, Samuel is asking, do you invest on dredging contract? The answer is I haven't seen that. The problem in dredging contracts, what I have experienced is there is no predictable revenue. I mean, where do you get revenue from? For everything else, we have an off-taker. So for dredging, where is the value coming from? That's the question you have to ask yourself, or you will have to answer the investors.
Okay.
Chipo is asking, do you invest in developing?
Hello?
I don't even know how I got muted, but the question is harvesting of mineral water. I haven't seen that. I haven't experienced that yet. Again, the question investors always have is who is the off taker? Where is the revenue coming from? If you're talking about harvesting mineral water and selling to the public, I mean, that becomes a business, not an investment. And what I'm talking about more is where are the investments capitals are available. Now, Samuel is asking whether the dredging coming from LNG in Nigeria. Now, I really don't understand that part, but LNG is very much a lot of investors are interested in because we know how to create the value or how to create revenue, out of LNG. What we don't know is how to create revenue out of dredging. Well, the question is, what are the criteria looking at a company? We really don't look at the company. We look at more on a project-to-project basis. I mean, that's what most of the investors have seen. Now, there are capital available for equity, different people, and there is lots of equity available. What's the criteria? I mean, they want to look at it, what potential the companies have, what have they done. Most of the people look at the track record of the company and what potential the company has. Now, if the company is a startups, obviously there is no track record. But then what happens is the investors will look at it and say, like there is one company the investors, my friends, are looking at where the company has a solid orders from the customers. So they have a proven technology, proven product, which has been tested in the market. Now they're getting orders, but in order to deliver the machineries they need, obviously they need investment, and those investments are available. Now, the question here is ICT infrastructure. I personally don't have experience in ICT, but there are investors that I know, they are looking at ICT very much so. That's what they do. Again, the business have to have a track record and skin in the game. The developer has to have a skin in the game. They have to have a solid business plan. Yes, the capital is available for ICT. Now, the question here is, do you require a collateral security? Depends on a case by case. In most of the cases, the projects have a predictable revenue because the off-takers is already selected, they already been identified. In that case, the additional collateral probably is not required. Most of the infrastructure projects, they basically get financed based on a project itself. Sorry, excuse me, my now the question here is a loan or is it a loan and the depreciation of local currency? Now, mostly to get that financing in Africa is very difficult. To get that financing in India is very difficult. Now, the reason being the economics won't work, and the reason economics won't work, that answers your second question, local currency. The problem is the cost of the currency hedging in all emerging countries, or most of emerging countries, including India and Africa. What happened is the cost of the loan may be cheaper, say 3 to 6%, depending on the risk involved, but the cost of the hedging is almost close to 6%. And that's very expensive. So if you add that hedging cost to the cost of the money, it becomes very expensive. So for example, in India, probably that's the case for Africa, that the debt financing is available at around anywhere between 7.5% to 9.5%. And the Canadian debt financing or American debt financing will become more expensive. So it's a currency hedging is a problem, and especially currency hedging is very expensive for Nigeria. I don't know how much, but I can tell you for India, it costs around close to 6%. I have a question from Oreo here. Do you look at investment into affordable housing? I have looked at affordable housing many times, and the issue is we are not in a business of building homes and selling to the public. What we have looked at is where we have the institutional in the government or Ministry of Defense or police department, or if they are interested in building 1,000 homes or few thousand homes, we can build. What we ask for is when the houses are, we ask for basically some sort of letter of credit that when we build homes and we deliver, we have to be paid. And for that, we need a solid financial instrument that we will be paid. Lawrence, I can't hear you. Lawrence? I'm sorry, I can only answer your question if I can hear you.
Yeah, continue. Yeah, continue with answering the question. Yeah, I think it's better.
Now, Sophie is asking renewable energy equipment manufacturing. Yes, that's possible. Again, it's a business. It's any investment in manufacturing will be a private equity. There are private equity available. Again, the developer or the promoter has to have a track record and skin in the game. There are private equity who invest in renewable energy manufacturing, panel manufacturing, equipment manufacturing. I personally haven't done anything, but the capital is available for sure. The other way to do it, I hope all of you can hear me. The other way to do it is if you taking a private corporation as a strategic partners who will bring in the technologies, plus they bring in the investments. That's the best way to work. And that's something what I'm doing in India, basically introducing Canadian entrepreneur with the Indian entrepreneur, and basically they will do the joint venture. That's another way to look at it. somebody's asking, Roland is asking, gas well. Oil and gas is basically something which, from my experience, I'm talking to a lot of people, and people are hesitant to go into oil and gas at the moment because of the market. But there are people who are still investing in oil and gas. Once again, what I suggest to you, like I said, the equipment, what I suggest to you is that maybe you want to partner with other oil companies, either Canadian or American or Indian or whatever, and do a joint venture with them who will also bring capital. There are a lot of oil and gas companies who are very cash rich. Give you an example of like Sunoco, Suncor is a Canadian company. I mean, they are investing in other oil and gas industries. Indian Oil, which is a basically state-owned company, investing all over the world in other oil and gas companies. So, because they're trying to make sure that oil and gas will be available for another, whatever, 20, 30 years until renewable energy has replaced the oil and gas. And that won't happen for another few decades, I guess. Mining projects, my answer is very difficult, super difficult. There are private equity who are investing in mining. If you have a solid track record, skin in the game, and solid business plan, there are private equity available. Or alternatively, you may want to partner with other mining companies. There are quite a few Canadian companies, just for your knowledge, who have partnered in many countries in Africa. And everybody is different. Some are in a gold mining, some are silver mining. Am I personally involved with them? No. My answer is no. I've never been in mining. But I mean, I see friends. Obviously, I've been in this industry for 40 years, and I see a lot of other friends, and they are investing in mining. Indian mining companies are also interested in Africa. I'm trying to recall one name which is very aggressive in Africa at the moment, in quite a few different kind of minings. Here the question comes, separate Zoom call. Yes, I mean, sure, inform Derek, and Derek can probably arrange a separate Zoom call. Am I right, Derek?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Okay, I give you my email address. I don't have a website, and thank God, successfully, I have done business without website. But I don't have a website. I come from old school. But you can always get in touch with Derek. Derek knows where I am. Derek knows where to get hold of me. Derek, you may want to give them my email address.
Yeah.
Please, do you have any case studies? I haven't done anything in Nigeria, period. So can we do something in Nigeria? Yes. Would I like to do something in Nigeria? Yes. But I haven't done anything yet.
So he goes further to say, what are the process of delivery in Nigeria? What are your process for delivery in Nigeria? Because
well, we need information package, right? I mean, if I have information package, I can evaluate, and if it's something which fits within what I like to do, then I will look at it together with my financial backers. If not, I can refer them to other investors who I know. But again, until I look at the information package, there is nothing much I can do. I see a message here. Roland is asking whether I can link up with a couple of companies. Yes, I can, but what I need is an information package which I can look at and if it makes sense, then I can take it to the people I know, and if they are interested, then I can connect to a few. But I mean, I already gave you names. Names are not secret. You will find from internet that companies like Indian Oil. Excuse me, this weather is really bothering me here. But there are companies like ONGC, Indian Oil. There are quite a few companies you will find from the internet. But if you want me to take your package to them, I have to look at the package first. That's the business I'm in. Well, how much minimum do you invest now? Personally, the kind of people I deal with, they only go in a large projects. But if you have small projects, I can introduce you to other private equity or other investors who go for smaller investors. But you got to understand one thing, that any foreign investors to come to Nigeria, there has to be the project has to be of adequate size. Now, what is adequate size depends on each cases, but for anybody to go to India to invest less than $20 million, doesn't make sense. I mean, I'm talking about India, and it's probably same applies to Africa. But I can introduce you to other private equity. Now, green industrial estate, Adilek is asking, green industrial estate. The industrial estate, if it's a real estate, it is a real estate where you're relying on a rental. Obviously, people are going to look at if you have a tenants lined up to go into those before you go into construction, which is usually don't see. That's how we build in Canada, USA. We don't build anything until we have at least 70% pre-sold or pre-leased. And that's not a case I find, especially in India and in other emerging countries I have looked at. In that case, there is very little interest from investors to build on a speculation basis. But I hope I answered your question. Now, here's a question from Roland, sovereign guarantee. I mean, to be honest with you, nowadays there are very few, or I would say none, countries in Africa who can issue the sovereign guarantee. There are a lot of pressures from IMF not to issue sovereign guarantee. Anyway, nevertheless, sovereign guarantee is not required in all the cases. No, the answer is no. What is required is a predictable revenue from the projects. The off-taker has to be, the bankable off-taker has to be in place, and there has to be a bankable business plan. And once you have that, I don't see any requirement for sovereign guarantee. Akam is anyway asking for email and contact information. Derek, you may want to provide that. Can you read?
I'll do that after the meet. I'll do that to everybody after the meeting, so we know we are ready.
Okay.
That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, integrated educational project on uniquely model to develop Africa by Africans. Educational, I haven't seen anybody yet, but I can assure you there is a good interest for educational. Again, my question to Razak will be, like, what other educational facilities you have created, and are you going to put your own activity into those deals or not? If these two elements doesn't exist, then literally no investor is interested. No investor, there is no investor I have seen in my 40 years career, whether a project is in Canada or Toronto or Africa or India, there are no investors for 100% of the capital. Nobody going to take 100% risk. Student accommodation, yes, very much so. Again, depending on a project, but for student accommodation, I can tell you that I am working with one group who are basically developing students housing. And if you have a solid business plan, if you want to send it to Derek, I can put you in connection with that company. And with that company, my arrangement is basically we Canadian will co-invest with them. But they are already building, like can't remember, 12 or 14 student housing. They are the best people you may want to talk to, unless you tell me you have built quite a few student housing too. Then yes, you are in a strong position. Abdul Rahman, okay, well, I will look at the projects when I get the details. I don't understand this BBBEE company, 100% ownership. Again, investors, with my experience as an accountant and as an entrepreneur, that the investor is going to look at it. What's the developers, promoters' track record, and what's the skin in the game from the promoters coming in, so that to show their seriousness, and the bankability of business plan. What is the business plan? How the business plan? How is the market? How is the competition? All these things going to be looked at. Agriculture projects, sorry, agriculture projects. Here I see question from Jubilee Nina. Again, manufacturing or processing of agricultural products is a business, and again, you're going to need private equity. If there is a bankable business plan, there are other companies who invest, and I will be happy to connect you with them. Personally, that's not my cup of tea. Okay, I see a question from Pat about email again. Again, Derek will provide the email addresses.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'll provide an email. I'll provide contacts. Myself and Mr. Tunde, who is my partner in this. So this is apparently the first edition, or will I say the first session of this we try to do. And thank you all for engaging. And Mr. Sif, thank you for your time and patience and information. So generally, Mr. Sif is an expert in infrastructure projects, especially in emerging or developing countries. And so I know all of us have projects to do. I will send out an email where you can send in your projects. Then he looks at it, and the ones that are good, we'll take it from there. Mr. Sif, do you have any other thing to add?
Okay, Derek, thank you very much. And thank you, all of you. If you have any questions or if you have any projects, please go back to Derek, and I'll be happy to coordinate. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. So this marks the end of the first session of the. So we're going into the Mr. Sif. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, the next session we're going to, Mr. Sif is out of it. The next session we're taking is Mr. Mwiga is going to talk about trade financing for Africa. So we're going to talk about trade financing for Africa. So this will be more of infrastructure financing. It will be more based on trade financing. Then you ask your questions. That will be the second. So everybody that has questions on oil and gas can wait for the third session. So the second session starts now. So Mr. Mwiga, can you unmute?
Thank you, Derek. I'm unmuted, and I guess I'm on video also.
Okay, good. So,
I'll be very okay. When you are ready, Derek. When you're ready, let me know.
So I think let's talk about how we can what we have been doing in structuring some trade finances to Africa through some Canadian government agencies, and how our people across Africa. I see a lot of people from different African countries are here, Cameroon, and I see. So at least we have 3 countries or 4 countries here represented. So what we just need to do is tell them how they can take advantage of some Canadian platforms, and so I see Mr. Shegun is here also. So we're all represented here. So talk to us about CCC and all that.
Okay, thank you, Derek. Let me just shoot straight and save us time. It's a good thing we are doing this because we can really be very practical. And being practical is that we want to deal with the problems. If we can deal with the problems and also answer questions, everybody is better positioned to be able to get financing. And those who are investing they will find it easier to take on a project. We've been trying a lot of things. We've done a lot. We've talked to so many investors and so many project owners. Now, one thing I would like us to know, because most of us on this platform or in this meeting, we are from the African continent, most of us, except for a few people. There are 1 or 2 things we need to very, very much pay attention to. How I wish that the ECOWAS, maybe chairman, or an ECOWAS team or an AU team will log into a kind of meeting like this. One thing is very important we need to know when we bring requests or bring proposals or bring business plans. A foreign investor is who? Who is a foreign investor? It's just someone who has the same opportunity in his country, but is deciding not to invest in his country, wants to invest in yours. So yours has to be more attractive. Your offer has to be more attractive. That is our major observation with projects from Africa. More attractive than what the guy has, what the investor has in his home country. They are not coming to Africa because there's no opportunity in Canada or in America or in Europe. No, there are. They are just following the principle of don't put all your eggs in one basket. Also have something outside your local territory. That's all. Also, they are looking for, hey, maybe there's something big out there. The next big opportunity, maybe I'll get a 50% return on investment instead of 25% in my country. Maybe there's more money to make. So for the African projects, we will like to see them key into 2 factors, because we have looked at a lot of proposals. One, the focus is that your project proposal has to be attractive. 1, presentation. Our people just have to be up to par with presentation, business plan, executive summary, teaser, proposal. The paperwork, the initial paperwork has to be attractive. If you fail at the paperwork level, your proposal level, it's not interesting to somebody who wants to make money. The proposals are just to get them to invest. Once you miss it at that level, that's the end. Nothing will work because the whole deal is dead on arrival. We have to get paperwork up to the standard at the international level, the way they prepare business plans, the way they do executive summaries, the way they prepare their teasers. For those who want to save money, if you have projects, you can't afford to get a consultant to do business plans for everything. Do a teaser, 1 page, 1.5 pages of a teaser. It's accepted. Anywhere in the world, in the advanced world, teasers are accepted. It's so cheap. You can do that by yourself. the basic things, and always focus and key in on profit margin. That is where the magic is, the magic wand, profit margin. Because like I said, these guys have opportunities in their country too. There is real estate. I am in Canada. There are so many real estate projects you can invest in Canada. It's a real estate country. For them to now come to yours in West Africa, East Africa, Southern Africa, you must offer something more attractive. So sometimes you need to look at this investor is coming from what part of the world? What is the average rate of return on this kind of project in his country? He's coming to invest in my oil and gas, or it's coming to invest in my real estate, or it's coming to invest in my factory, manufacturing. What will he make in his country if you were to invest the same money in his country? You need to figure that out based on the source or the origin, country of origin of that investor. Once you get it, okay, Canada will give him 10% return in the market on this money for this same business. You can offer him 30%. If you can prove, you have to be able to prove it. You don't just cook up the numbers. You have to be able to prove he can make 30%. Once you can do that, you now start the process through attractiveness. Attractiveness, that is the beginning. If you miss that level, it's over. It's game over. Now, we have opportunities for funding. In Canada, there are funding opportunities for projects that are good or procurement. You want to do procurement, acquisition, equipment, plants, machinery, whatever, logistics, or a service, or mining equipment, whatever it is. There are sellers of various kind of products and equipment in Canada that are willing to sell on a basis of you buy now, you pay later. You don't have the cash, but you have the business and you have a projected cash flow. Look, if I get this equipment from you, if I get these supplies, if I get this machinery, I can work with this, or it's just logistics. My business has a big factory. We don't have vehicles for delivery. We can't deliver to customers. Or we want to have drones, delivery drones. I can make money if I get this. Just show that to a Canadian supplier, and Canada will finance your purchase without putting down any money. Once you can prove that, yes, the business is for real, your cash flow projection is real, and you just give them a cover. There has to be a cover, a kind of collateral, not your house, not your family land, but something, maybe an SBLC or a fund you have somewhere, or shares, or a portfolio you own, whatever you can put down as a guarantee that in case I don't pay you, you can take this. So we have those on the table. But like I said, the most important thing is presentation, attractiveness, presentation, paperwork, profitability. It has to be better than what you will get in his home country. And also the project has to be viable. Many projects, I look at them, they don't look viable to me because it's not just going to work. Somebody wants to build a big government housing estate in a jungle somewhere in Calabar. And I said, you want a Canadian to invest in a place he doesn't even know the name. He's going to put $1 billion in the bush, in the jungle. I said, for real estate will sell in prime property locations. It has to be a prime location. VI, Lekki, Port Harcourt GRA, Central, City Center, Abuja. It will sell to a foreigner. It's not a local guy. So all those things, if we can take care of that level, we are going to shoot very high. And I said, funding is available if you can give some backup, some guarantees, and your cash flow is real. Thank you. Over to you, Derek.
Derek, you are muted. Unmute your mic.
Sorry, guys. Okay, sorry, can you hear me now? So, what Benga is saying is that there's funding available from the Canadian government that just in case you have a procurement type of business, you want to acquire something, you don't have any money at all, but you know it's a good business. You know that there's good margins for the profit, and you can prove the margins for the profit. And may or maybe the good thing is the third part of this session is going to deal on the SBLC and the LCs. We're going to talk about that in the third session. So because you have to, nobody comes in, there must be a guarantee too. So those guarantees we're going to talk about in the third part. So for everybody here that has a procurement deal, that has a small scale type of thing that has good margins, what Benga is saying is there's funding for it. And so if you have any questions on that, you can drop it on the chat and you can answer them. Okay. So if that is well, anybody, any comment, questions, observations, you can raise your hands if you want to speak, and you can drop if you have any question, you can drop it on the question mark on the chat. Okay, I see one person wants to speak. Hold on. Patrick. Okay.
Yeah, thank you
Patrick.
so very much.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Patrick Odiego, CEO of Polygon Investment Nigeria Limited. Polygon Investment Nigeria Limited is a licensed barite, lead, and zinc mining company. We have our operation in North Central Nigeria. Yes, I listened to the presenter. Incredible presentation, very direct to the point. And first of all, I want to congratulate you guys for this effort. What has been missing is linkage for businesses in Africa to do two things: to increase capacity for local supply, and then increase productivity for export market. Unfortunately, we have a double whammy. Our government are not being political. They are not fit for purpose in terms of business development, business expansion, and linkages. Now, our financial institutions appears to be towing the same line. They simply doesn't understand that in combination of lack of taking the necessary steps in amplifying the capacities of business development, we expose ourselves in such a way that will become a target, not for serious investment, but for people that have not really structured their investment mindset towards mutual value creation to really not get the value for the local player. So I like what you guys are doing. And I think that from our own sector, from our own business, we have a very strong business. Our product line, we have 3 critical products: barite used in oil and gas drilling, lead used in battery production, zinc used majorly in steel making. If you need to prevent rust in any of your steel-based equipment, you need to place it with zinc. But presently, zinc has actually found new use in cell battery production. We've seen houses on fire because of lithium being negatively exposed to fire risk. Zinc doesn't have that. So zinc is going to come strongly on the market. And that's an area where I think that we can explore.
Mr. Patrick, I think you have a very good business. I don't mean to cut you short because I understand what you have a very good project. That's what you're saying. And that is very, you think has good profit margin. So we're going to deal on individual projects separately. But what you're saying in general is you think you have a very good project, and you made a very good point about the business development, linkages, and all that. So I think let's concentrate on more on the structural. The meeting is about the structural positions that we need to take to build further. So after the meeting, there's going to be probably an email or a website or something we're going to drop so that people can begin to look at individual projects and begin to, take it step by step. So the ones that are going to go to the project finance, the ones that are going to go to, we're going to basket those ones. So
I wanted to structurally, I was actually not referencing most of that. Structurally, I think we can, have a handshake between not really between off-takers and product manufacturers, because that is the easiest way to really start coming together, to start seeing the viability of projects, right? And service provision, not really giving out money, because most times people think that businesses in Africa, and that's why we are being stigmatized, right? That we are looking for quick money. No, there are instruments that can be used to de-risk business so that the genuine businesses will come out, right? Now, if we use those templates, we will open up the spectrum. People will now see the capacity of our economy. Currently, it's not being seen because we've been stigmatized. There's a lot of prejudice, and there are a lot of people that have done a lot of, naughty things, but everybody is actually tied to the same brush. And we have to find a way to fight back in creating those that are doing something tangible. We need to stand up and say, look, why don't we go off non-finance? Let's look at other ways that we can use to actually direct the business and show that these businesses are viable, that businesses are investable, and then we can start the journey from there. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Patrick. So, like I said, I know your project is I think is very commendable, and but at the end of this meeting, I'm sure this is not the last time you hear from us. Trust me, that's one thing I can guarantee everybody. So, Tunde, I see you. You want to talk about? Hello, Mr. Tunde. Hi, Plus. Hello, Mr. Tunde, are you there?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can hear you now. My question goes directly to Benga. Is it see there? Can find it. Okay. I just want to give you one or two scenarios, two case studies, so that we can just pinpoint and help iron out some needing areas, what we're going to do. I have just mention one or two. The first one, like you mentioned, has a real estate project in a Lekki Aja area, but they need funding to do it. What is lacking? Where they want to build the real estate is in Aja, Lekki Aja area. That's number one. That's first case scenario. No funding. The only prototype or this thing or what's it called that they can show is what has been the initial project or the initial sales they have made before. That's number one. Number two is still on trade financing. There is a revolutionary innovative product on healthcare, on wellness and healthcare, and the person has been given authority to buy those products and sell in Africa, but no goods, no funding to buy those ones under trade infrastructure, trade instruments. Those are my two questions. I want you to help us address that one and see how to go about it.
Derek, am I on mute?
No, I can hear you. Go ahead.
I have unmuted myself, and I'm hoping on the platform I am unmuted. Okay, let me answer the questions. The last one, I'll take it first because it's the shorter answer. You want to do a business, you don't have money to get it to start running, to start being operational. Being operational makes you generate revenue, makes you earn income and make profit, and then you have a business that is flowing in the right direction, becomes attractive to investors for expansion. But you don't have that resource, you need to hit the ground running. It's a fact that most investors avoid 100% risk. And there are very simple reasons. When you ask them to bring in 100% of the money in Africa, because of, there's a stigma, they will first of all start thinking, I hope it's not a Yahoo 419 guy that is coming in a different camouflage when I give him 100% funds, he can disappear or he can mismanage the business. And because he has no risk, he has no skin in the game, he has no money involved, he can mismanage, he can embezzle, he can go and buy Range Rover Sports for 10 different girlfriends and all that. When they know you don't have a penny in that business, they run back because the risk becomes 100% their own. And they know that once they transfer that money over to you and it enters your bank account in Africa, you can do and undo. They cannot easily come to Africa and start looking for you. They will meet a gang that will tell them, are you white? You want me to kidnap you, or you want to look for what you are looking for? I will kidnap you on top of it, and then you'll be paying ransom. They can't come after you easily in Africa. In Canada, if you do that in Canada, we will get you, the Canadian system will get you in less than 24 hours. So in Nigeria, what do you do when you're in that position, that vulnerable position in Africa? You will need to cross that hurdle one way or the other. Either it is by local financing, you are going to downsize your business. Remember, the winning ticket is not always because of your big size. You may need to downsize to a scale you can run and be making profit at that level, and you now present your bank or your financial statements for 5 years. You will cross that bridge. The other question, or let me add to that, if the part of your problem is logistics, equipment, I've told you in Canada, it can be funded. Just be real and find a way to give us either your government backing, local government or state government or federal government, or a private SBLC to cover us as a collateral. Canadian government will fund the equipment side, the machinery side, the logistics side, whatever you need to buy from here to make your business work. The money is available. You won't spend anything. You'll just be paying back by installments. Now, the real estate Lekki thing. I spent 10 years in Lekki as a real estate dealer. What you are saying, I know what you're saying. Let me give you one example. Do you know that Pinnock Estate built by UAC? That Pinnock Estate, my company sold like 50 plots to various buyers. Now, do you know one funny thing? As strong as UAC is, everybody knows UAC and their UPDC, Property Development Division, as strong as they are, do you know that what they call Omonile sued UAC? The Elegushi, no, not Elegushi, the Ajiran, I think it was the Ajiran family, they sued UAC and repossessed the land on which UAC built a massive estate. They won that case. Now, UAC had to settle them by paying the second time. UAC could do that because they have the funds. Now, what if you are a one-time, a new investor, project developer, and you brought a foreign investor and he paid the first 1 billion or 5 billion naira, and the Omonile came and defeated you on ownership tussle, and what do you tell the investor? To come and pay another 5 billion naira. You see where the problem is? We need to clean up some things in the system. So this is what I would recommend for you. If you're in real estate and you're looking at Lekki, it's a prime location, yes, but you have to do the basics. Get solid title, one. Number two, if possible, you need to create a link between who is investing and the people who hold control in that area. Let them have that access to get an assurance that they are not coming back tomorrow to come and claim the land and win at the appeal court. Then again, you have to look at funding. When you say come and build with your money 100%, they find it difficult. So what I would suggest is this. I have told many developers, and it has worked for everybody that cared to listen. You have a big piece of land, maybe 100 hectares in Lekki or 50 hectares. You don't have money to do anything. I may advise you, sell off at half price, 1/3, 1/4, or 1/5, and raise money. You have 20 hectares, sell off 5 at half price and raise the money and use that money as your own investment. That will probably just create the physical infrastructure, what we call real estate basic infrastructure, roads, drainage, street lights. And then at that stage, if you bring in an investor, you'll be very interested. That's one key. The other factor is if you can't do that, that money you made by selling 1/4 at half price, put that money in a bank and show it to the real investor and say, to the real estate investor and say, this is my own contribution to investment. This is my co-investment fund. I have 500 million naira. I have 5 billion naira. Bring me 20 billion. Come and build the houses. It has worked for everybody that has cared to listen. Thank you.
All right. This is about what we have on this was supposed to be mostly on the trade finance, but we went into real estate, which is a part that most Nigerians are very passionate about. So, is there any other person? I see Ezege. Okay, let's conclude with Ezege's question. So, Mr. Ezege, can you unmute yourself or not?
Yes, I have.
Okay,
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
So how are you? Wow, this meeting is actually very exciting. I'm the chairman, board of directors, African Ivory University.
Okay, welcome.
Razak actually brought me in to you. So,
oh, Mr. Razak, yeah, the close friend. Welcome.
So ours is infrastructure with education as well. Now,
Okay.
I've listened to all of that. One of those things that actually bothers me, a question I want to ask. We all know that the bank in Nigeria are all bad business banks. As in, it will be very difficult for you to have a standby letter of credit from your banks in Nigeria. We know that. So in this case, if you're raising a third-party collateral from a foreign investor who believes in your project, can your funder do 100%? That's question one. That's question one. Then the next question is, the next thing I just want to add to that is you're having a 50,000. What we want to do is actually leaving the conventional style of education we have in Nigeria, which actually needs, who is not helping us. Research has carried it over time that we leave the shores of Nigeria, kids leave the shores of Nigeria because of the interrupted educational structures we have in this country, which is not helping. So we are actually coming back to rewrite the narrative, to restructure that. And that is why we brought African Ivory University, not the conventional style, but what we call productive learning. Now, in that university, we have 5 huge industries, including agro-allied industrial park that comprises of the fertilizer industry. We equally have the modular refinery and all of that, but it is for the purpose of learning and equally making money. That's the essence. So we have so far so good work. We have our business plan. We have a whole lot of documents to back this up. Now you're telling a business owner in Nigeria, yes, we know there's a lot of fraudulent activities happening in the country, but then you still have very few who are interested in doing genuine business. Now, I for one will say, I don't need any investor who will come and just drop money and tell me I'm giving you money and go. No, I want an investor who is going to be part of that. Come and invest. Like, bring your money, you're part of it. We can write a joint venture agreement together. We can have an SPV to run the project together and all of that. That's what I'm looking at. Because if you're telling an investor, that's what we foresaw. If you're telling an investor, come and bring 100% of bringing your money, there's that, am I not going to be duped? You know, it's difficult. So we want an investor that will come and say, okay, we are part of this project. We want to help rewrite the structure. Then we'll make our own profits from it. We have the fertilizer industry there. We have the chemical stroke pharmaceutical company there. We equally have a whole lot of it, ceramic, and we have 6 huge industries. So this, why are we having it in the school in the first place? It's because, one, we want to bring down the school fees to a minimum where the average Nigerian can be proud that I'm sending my son to a school that is equivalent as that of Harvard, you know, and then the school fees is less. Nigerian education is very, very expensive. You can attest to that. We have, I will not want to mention so many, but we know that most of the schools we have here, private universities we have here, doesn't favor the common man. You have the school fees at the peak there, where you have 1 million, 1 point something million. Which average Nigerian will be able to afford that? That's what we are looking at. So because of that, those industries are actually going to pay back 30% of their annual returns, annual income, back to the school for the smooth running of the school. And that will make us not actually look at the school fees. So the school fees remain there like about 300,000, you know, and then you have a serene environment for education. I mean, where the student studies and all of that, we create a very serene environment for them. That is what I'm looking at. And in the profit making side, the industries are there. They can pay back in 5 years what we have collected or what the investor has invested. So if our investors outside there are saying, oh, they are looking for us to bring a standby letter of credit from any Nigerian bank rated AAA, my brother, you will go around Nigerian banks and you will not see.
Okay.
So because of that, we had to, if they will accept a third-party collateral from a bank outside, it's a good deal for us. If they don't, I think they are formalities, or we can write a joint venture. They come to see this thing, write a joint venture agreement, how to run this together.
No problem. Okay. So, well noted, Mr. Zege. Thank you for the question. It's about guarantees, which is what we're going to discuss on the third session of this meeting. So, if there's no other questions on trade financing, so we'll go to the third part of this session. So the third part of this session. So guys, welcome to the third part of this session. Most of you here know me, Derek, and so the third part of this session is going to deal with a little bit of oil and gas, real estate, and guarantees. So I'm just going to give you basically resources, you know. So on the part of guarantees, so we have been able to secure partnerships with banks across the world to be able to raise LCs and SBLCs for oil products. So whether you're into AGO, whether into SBLC, whatever we can raise LCs for you. And part of trade, in the part of trade too, we have been able to secure some partnerships too, to secure some trade instruments. Some of them are 3 months, some of them are, I can't speak too much to it because my partners and them are not available on this meeting. Our partners are not too available on this meeting, but I've sent an email there, info@NASCO. Later, every inquiry can go there. So we have, you can take this, we have SBLC for oil traders. We also have trade and financing instruments for traders. We have 3 months of trade financing. For the for the MT790, we have almost 1 year, 12 months. Now for the real estate, we also have good partnership for the real estate through South African realtors. So what these people do is, you have your joint venture, you have your land, they can come and develop and sell. So these are some of the things we have been able to get in partnership with our partners. And that's what North American Strategy Consulting does. So if you have any need of guarantees, that's one place, because we've noticed that a lot of Nigerians, a lot of Africans, they don't have the finance, they don't have the instrument, they don't have this. So we've been looking at it because we know it's the biggest issue we have, which are the guarantees. You have a good project, but you don't have any guarantee. So we'll be looking in this part and we'll be making good strides in this part. So anybody that has a question, you can ask there. If not, I've sent an email there, info@nascocanada.ca. You can send in your projects. I have my partner here, which is High Plus. Mr. Tunde is here. So anybody that wants to build his project, business plans, everything is going to, so we send it to Mr. Tunde to help guide you to the before you get to the point of investment. So that's where I will stop today. I hope everybody got something from the meeting. And if you have any comments, random questions, we have 30 minutes to do that. Yeah, email is here.
Okay, Derek, thank you very much for this. This is a very good initiative, and congratulations for work well done. Also, I take this honor to appreciate every person who has sacrificed their time to be in this forum. For me, I consider it a great blessing to be part of this great team. However, I have noted your concerns and I wanted to get some clarification. Could you kindly email us, because the information you're sharing is very important, but because of the timings we are having in this forum, you may not explain everything in detail. And so it will give us the greatest joy if you could be kind to email us all these nitty-gritties so that we can go through them and return to you in kind. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Joseph. So the good thing is the meeting is being recorded, so it will go to the secretaries. They'll transcribe it, and I'll make sure I put in a summary, and I'll send emails to everybody I can get. Mr. Tunde is here. Then, if not, the email I sent on the chat, you can take it. Is info@nascocanada.ca. You can send in requests, whatever it is. So anything, briefs, you can send it there. So the one going for the project will go to Mr. Asif. The one going for the trade and financing will go to Mr. Benga. The one going for oil and gas will take it to the department. It will just get shared to our multiple partners we have across the world. So that's how you set it up. So if any other comments, questions, concerns? We have a couple of minutes. Okay, guys. Mr. Asif, I see you're still here. You want to say any last words before I end the meeting? You can unmute yourself, sir.
Hello, Derek.
Hey, Mr. Jeff.
Yeah, the meeting I came late because, you know, Saturday sometimes is not good for we sometimes in Nigeria. I've not been to my state for a long time, but I lost my uncle who is a former speaker, and then the son is also getting married today. So I went for the wedding. I'm preparing to go for the wedding. I've been running up and down. But as the other speaker said, it would be good that you email us these details, because some of us, we, you know, as the world it is, it's knowledge economy. Some of us, our own, this thing, our sector we are is knowledge-based economy, but we will have some things that we're doing on idea level and development level that we've been needing financing. So with this, if we have if we have email, I know the right person we're talking to, then we'll move forward, because I came late, so I don't have more questions for me, whether you have addressed it in this, but I'm emphasizing on the speaker who just spoke about the emailing us individually what you have said. It will help us also. For some of us who did not start the meeting from the beginning. Sorry for the inconvenience, sir.
No problem, sir. So like I said, we're going to transcribe the whole meeting, summarize it, and put the resource information on it, and we'll send to everyone as we can get. I see we're about 37. We're 40 or 50 in the beginning of the meeting, so I'll try and send to everyone. So with that said, any other question? Or we get okay, Mr. Steven. Okay, Mr. Steven has something. Mr. Steven said that you can.
I say for me, it's just to encourage you to continue doing more. I know what you have done to contribute while we were here, and even now that you are aware. So for me, it's to pray for you and to go pray that God give you more connections and continue remembering us in Africa and Nigeria so that together we can go places and make Africa a better place.
Yes, so very important. Very important, Mr. J. Very important.
Okay, thank you.
Permission
to leave because
yes,
I'm doing something.
Permission granted. Permission granted. Okay, so thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Derek.
Yeah, Mr. Joseph.
Sorry for interrupting you. My apologies are in order. While you are speaking, I am thinking to myself, this is a very noble initiative. But, and look at this, we are around 40, meaning these are 40 companies.
Yeah.
If we came together as a group, for instance, I am in Kenya.
Okay.
I'm in the engineering sector. We have got huge, we are also into real estate. And possibly my colleague, Deschuku, his name is very long, I don't get it, wants possibly land in Kenya. And he wants possibly to bring a factory in Kenya. We can do that, and we can do all the paperwork for him. We have a very good team of lawyers.
Okay.
So we should not only be limited to getting funds from donors, but what if we come together? All these companies have got strange solutions in the economy. All these companies in this meeting today, all these are intellectual gurus in their own field. If we put our heads together and say, look here, we need to invest in this, and possibly, let me tell you, the issue of banks, the way the bank operates in Nigeria is the same way it operates in Kenya. Banks will never change. So no miracle is about to happen for banks to change to favor any business person. You see, so until we come up with resilient solutions, resilient economical solutions, I am telling you the truth, we will change Africa. Africa is the best continent with intellectuals. But so when we put our heads together and say, okay, this company A does this, they want to expand their business into this country. Who do we have in that country who is part of this group? Can we engage him? Or if I want anything in Nigeria, can I talk to Derek so that Derek can link me up? I invest in Nigeria. Until we work together as a family, nothing will work outside. Even if a donor came in, we will still be separated. We just have to be one. We support each other. And then when funding comes from other investors, let them find us when we are one family. I rest my case.
Very, very incisive, very smart, and I commend you for that kind of thinking, which is, so our company called NASCO, this is what we do, is called North American Strategy Consulting. So out here in the West, we try to, because understanding the real problems of Africa, we have been able to take it from Africa to the West. So what we're doing is trying to have those engagements on another level, you know. This meeting, where I was supposed to have, if you know her, the head of trade in the World Trade Center, her name is Kemi. She was supposed to be in this meeting, but I decided not I was supposed to have Johnny Chen, who is, if you know Canada National Bank, Johnny Chen is one of the financial advisory to most Canadian banks. I was supposed to have a lot of high-level investors, but we decided to first of all, understand ourselves. So going forward, I will take we'll take it through that part. So we begin to compartmentalize, at least have industry based, so because this is everybody's here, so we'll begin to break it down industry based, then begin to match the industry with their finance guys. So in the next level, what we want to advance to is be able to have a real estate meeting with all the real estate investors, promoters, practitioners. So that way we can get something out of it immediately. So, but this one is like jollof of, will I say jollof of everything, So basically, I thank you all for, taking the time out. So please send, I don't know everybody, you can just send an email, whatever you're sending, you can send your email to the info@nascocanada.ca. Just send whatever it is so that we can respond to you. Or you send to Mr. High Plus, who brought some of you on board. So, but I'm going to send to him. If you send to me, I'll still share it to everybody. So with that said, I think I should say thank you is in order, and thank you for coming on board. Please do not forget to send an email to that email so that we can get back to you immediately. And when we schedule the next meeting, at least we'll take it from there. So thank you all for being here.
Yeah, hello.
Okay,
There.
rest my key. Hey, so before the meeting ends, so I have this is the personal or confidential man to our Minister of Mines and Steel. Yeah, so they are in charge. This is mining in Nigeria. Yeah, so Mr. Damian, you have the floor. You can.
Good day, everyone. Sorry, I came in late. Actually, I saw the invite very late. So today is Saturday. We've had very tough week working. So most cases Saturday we have time out to rest. So I just woke up from sleep and I'm sorry. From what the last speaker said before Derek took over, I understand we are working towards bringing in investors into Africa. But it's like it's boiled down to just real estate, right?
No. Everything.
Not just real estate.
No.
Okay, because I know in my sector, which is my name is Damian Ibokwe, the Senior Special Assistant to the Honorable Minister of State, Minister of Mines and State Development. And since we assumed office, we've been doing all to make sure we have partnership with foreign investors, because Nigeria has very rich minerals. We have high deposits too. But the major issue we are having here is we are only on artisanal mining level. We need to up our game. So far, we're having like 2-3 companies who are having really gold refinery, because we have large deposits of gold in Nigeria, but mostly has been harnessed by artisanal miners. And over time, you've traveled to Dubai, you will see gold mined from our places. And you realize when you go investigating, going deeper, you realize that those things are just paid by artisanal miners who later take them and happen to get market people who buy and take them up there. So we want real investors who can actually come in and invest in Nigerian solid mineral sector. It's viable. And it's something we have large deposits, commercial deposits here in Nigeria. I will do everything within our reach to make sure the investors who are coming in have a very smooth ground to operate and friendly environment to do their business. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for honoring our invitation. And I can guarantee you this is not the last, and we will take it from here. We'll take it from here. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. David.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes. Sir.
All right.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, you see, we have everybody's in the house, from the big to the mighty, and the promoters and the practitioners. So, like I said, so I'm going to send out an email to everybody summarizing, then we're going to take it from there. Industry-based, mining, real estate, oil and gas. I'm going to separate it if that's okay, so we can have a very smooth follow-up. Thank you so much for coming, and all right, bye.